Hello everybody and welcome to my penultimate video of FC24. Basically, this is just my thoughts on the FC24, looking back at it as a whole, or as much as I can remember without doing research, because that is me. So, first of all, I did say I was going to do F1 content, but that just didn't materialise as I fully intended it to. I wanted to do it, but at the same time I was like, I kind of sort of enjoy just having F1 as a game I don't have to upload as a game for you lot. I just keep to myself. I might intend doing that in the future when I say more on a dedicated schedule, which I will talk about at the end of the video, and also just what I intend to do going forward. But anyway, like and subscribe if you enjoy this video, and let's get straight into it. Alright, jumping in, my thoughts on FC24. We're going to start with the bad stuff. Obviously, there's quite a few glitches throughout this year in terms of the trickster glitch and just ultimately, like, I'm going to say the finesse shot playstyle glitches were, it weren't a glitch, but it was a bit more overpowered than EA intended it to. Now, I'm not going to say that's a glitch, but I'll talk about more playstyles in a second. But yeah, so the main big one was that trickster glitch, and luckily when it was a thing, I didn't match up against anybody who could do it, and so it didn't affect me. But I know a lot of people were losing games because of it, and I think they got punished or whatever, which is rightly so. You're exploiting the game, should be. But I feel like that sort of could have been avoided. But at the same time, with playstyles being first in this year, it's sort of, there's bound to be a few bugs. I'm also going to say, well, there's bugs as well, I suppose this is as well, the connectivity. Like, especially during Footy's Path to Glory and Tots, some of the worst, like getting kicked off the servers as soon as you're jumping in a match, or whatever, or what was it, like a point a couple weeks ago, it was still, like, it was August, like 1st of August around that time, we were still getting kicked off the servers. Like, it's August. Really, the game is basically dead at that point. And it just feels like servers need a bit of an upgrade, which I don't think they've had in a while. I don't know. Like I said, don't do research. So it's just a bit of better servers or just better management. I don't know. Next bad thing was the amount of, like, store corrections they've had to do with player picks, like, fully not intended. Like, the Team of the Year Messi one was a bit, I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, an 86 plus with all the leagues that have Team of the Years in, that was a bit like, well, Messi's the only 86 plus. I know where EA were going with it, but I don't think they realised where there's only one MLS walkout, if you get an MLS, it's guaranteed to be Messi. But that wasn't that bad as a sense. Even though a lot of people got Messi, it wasn't as bad as when the Foot Champs for Ligue 1 was out. That was, if you played your games early, you had a better chance of playing the games, getting better rewards if you played the games early, compared to those who couldn't play early, say they work Friday night or Saturday night and Saturday lunch and just couldn't play them, and then that you rewarded the players, or not rewarded the players, but the players who played early got better stuff, whereas the players who couldn't play early, for whatever reason, couldn't. And that is sort of like, just should have left it, and I think, but again, that's the thing, if something's good, EA will patch it. If something is bad, it'll take them months, which, leaning back on the bugs and glitches thing, again, like, EA will take weeks to patch a bad thing. If it's a good thing, something that gives out good rewards or whatever, like, not what they intended, but it's what happened, they'll fix it immediately. Or, it's a bit like, really, EA? Like, you show sloppiness to fix, like, game-breaking bad bugs, but you fix them, the good ones, immediately. there's no consistency there. So it sort of shows they have the ability to fix the good bugs and the bad bugs at like same speeds. They just don't do it. Which, I mean, money's probably not an issue, but still, it's probably money. Then gameplay, again, it's not been bad, but it's not been good. And this is sort of a bit in my both highlights bits. Gameplay has been probably, it's getting better each year, but I just think that AI doesn't know how to handle the animations. In a sense, for goalkeepers. Like, I was playing Foot Champs yesterday, and I conceded a header, which, granted, I was using Petchak. He might not have saved it, but the way it looked is like, as he set himself, he looked like he was diving right, but then changed to go left. So, I just think AI need better coding. I mean, the AI is atrocious in this game anyway, because they don't work without direct passing, and even then they don't always work. But it's like, again, just goalkeepers are my biggest issue. Like, they have not been looked at enough. Like, what I know there was a FIFA where at the I think it was like the first year hypermotion was a thing. The goalkeepers started out really, really good, like probably too good, and then they nerfed them, and then they were awful, or not great. But this year, like, keepers just have a certain, like, 4 or 5 animations they will do for every single shot. Yeah, EASN, we record real-life games. Then there should be hundreds of thousands of different animations for goalkeepers. Yet I assume that AI, when it's seeing and reading and coding the shot, doesn't know how the keeper, like, what type of animations to go with. And again, this sort of goes with the outfield player. Like, if they're going to kick a ball, there'll be that little bit of tiny, like, slowness, and that the opposing player will get in, and then they'll kick through the player. Which, it happens in real life, but it's just not as smooth as it could be. In terms of just smoothness, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And then, just for me, there feels like there's a bit of delay. Like, I'll put in a command, and it just won't happen. Not snap, but it's like a snap. Not instantly, but not... It's not instant, but it's not thing. So I feel like that could be improved. Or that could just be certain things, like controller, or just me being buggy and picky about it. But moving on to the final bad thing I have, really, that I could think of. Rewards. Yeah, Foot Champs mainly for me. Even though I started off really well by packing that 91 group stage, road to the knockouts, Luka Modric, lovely card. Again, I'll talk about playstyles in a second. Lovely card, and technical when he was on technical dribbling. Before they patched it, he was lovely. Afterwards, when they changed technical, meh. But yeah, I thought then, okay, these are actually good. But also, another thing I don't think EA were really thinking about was, make Team of the Weeks better. Just, you make them better. Yet you remove reds. Like, I sort of see your logic in saying, nobody's used reds, we might as well just take them out and until Team of the Season. But you've made Team of the Week so much better, like there can't be one below 83 or whatever. Yet you remove reds. Like, I feel like people would actually use them in the early weeks because the Team of the Week are better than some of the golds. Like, if you pack say Gertruda from, I think he had one this year at some point, but I don't know when. But say he gets a Team of the Week in the first week of FC 25, he will be better than most starter e-cards or the first week of Foot Champs. He will probably be better than most, or a lot. It's quite a decent amount of players. So he stands quite a good chance going in your team. But that's like a poor example, I know, because whatever. But you get what I mean. Like, I kind of think about players who aren't actually at a club. Like Julian Alvarez. If he gets Team of the Week, like, he will be better than most starter strikers at that point in FC, unless you have like Haaland or Mbappe or Messi or whatever, then you see what I mean? Like, it'll be cool to get him in red. So it'd be nice if they could if they had left reds this year and just seen what happened with the better team the weeks. And then if it still happened, I'd fully understand removing it for FC25. But yeah. Then Rivals Rewards was a bit... Well, going to the packs and actually Foot Champs Rewards as I'm on Foot Champs. Foot Champs Rewards, for pack-wise, awful. Like, I think my best pull from rewards this year was probably Modric. Like, excluding Tots, because Tots are best rewards anyway. But it was probably Modric, or Casillas, actually, but I think that was tradable from something. But then otherwise, an Ultimate Pack. And a Red Player Pack for 11 wins, or a 100k pack, or whatever it is. I can't quite remember what it is. I don't think I saw 20 walkouts from it when the goal players were still like 20, 30, 40, 50k type thing. I just wasn't seeing any. Like, I was getting 83s, 84s. So, it is like... I understand they're tradable and you don't want to have a minimum rating, but I feel like an Ultimate Pack should have a minimum rating. Because otherwise, I'm just going to open it and say, I've got a Gavardiol, like an 83 from an Ultimate Pack. That's just not good enough, really, from an Ultimate Pack. From an Ultimate Pack, you're expecting at least an 86 at least, or like an 85 at least, or a good 84 or whatever. And then a 100k pack, maybe a good 83 or something. So, rewards for me haven't quite been quite that good. I mean, obviously, they changed rivals when around Team of the Season Path to Glory time, I think it was. They changed them and they were actually quite good. Like, I think when they added that Path to Glory pack, I got Vinicius out the first one. So, they were pretty good. And then Pedri out of one of the player picks or whatever. Or out of one of the packs again. So they were good, and they were given 83 times 5s out. So maybe if we go in a bit early, like in this game, like make those rewards a little bit better and worth playing Rivals. Because since I haven't really played Rivals in a couple of weeks, which I'm fine with, I've been playing Champs, but I've not played Rivals. But, it's what it is. I think that's enough me moaning about the bad stuff. Let's get on to the good stuff. So, good things. I'll start off with gameplay. I said it was bad, and I think it's good at the same time. It's like, when technical and playstyle pluses were first introduced, obviously needed to be some balancing done. So, like, finesse shots were too overpowered at the start of the game. Now they've reined them in, and I just don't think they're quite good enough. Then EA were like... Then people were like dropping back and stuff, and with finesse shots nerfed, Trivella's then became back again. They then got nerfed. And it was like, okay, right, you're nerfing the attacking, why not nerf the defence? But ultimately, it has probably been quite good gameplay-wise. Like, obviously playstyle pluses, I understand balancing and all that lot would take time. But it's meant to be a good thing, to be honest. But yeah, players obviously feel not responsive. They will feel responsive, and then it will just be gameplay struggling to think good things about it. Compared to last year, I can't really remember much gameplay from last year, which is surprising, considering I played quite a lot of it. But yeah, gameplay from last year I think was quite mixed as well. Like, I don't think it was as... I feel like FIFA 23 is definitely better than FC 24, but I'll get more onto that in a second. Good things about the gameplay. I mean, you can definitely attack in different ways, but the same, all very similar ways, like getting down the byline and knocking it across, whipping the ball into like your 6'5" Haaland with aerial and he'll just head it in the back of the net, or Ronaldo with power header or whatever. So there are good things about it, but I just feel like gameplay has been put on the back burner a bit, whereas playstyles, as we'll get onto now, I think have been quite good. Obviously, once the rebalancing or balancing needed to take place at early on in the game, like when you had finesse shot and the finesse shot plus being so broken, like Salah on his left foot in the left wing spot could finesse it and it would go in on his left foot. So basically, what would be a cross on his weak foot, keeper would flap at it and it would go top left. It's possible. Don't get me wrong, but not to the level Salah should be able to do on a left foot. So the finesse shot basically made the finesse shots broken. Then Trivela did the same with Trivela shots, like Modric was great at them. Mainly because, yeah. Although I will say, I could never get on. For me, the outside of the foot shot works really weirdly, but that's a me thing, I think. Like, if it's like a quick finesse shot, no, a quick shot with the outside of the boot, it's great. But if I manually want to do it, it'll be like, stop, takes 2 steps, and then bang. Which I'm like, that's not what I wanted. 9 times out of 10, I'll score it anyway. But it's like, I want him to just hit it with the outside of the foot straight as he's running, not slow down, take 2 steps to make it flatter, and then hit it. But, again, things to be worked on. Block, anticipate, and were probably my 2 favourite, and intercept. Those 3 are probably my 3 favourite defensive play styles. I think just because intercept is like, yeah, cool, I'll intercept every pass, or a load of passes, and stick with it. Although lately, not been happening to me quite as much. I'll intercept it, but I won't keep it. But that could be because I'm not using players without intercept. That probably is it, to be fair. But you get what I mean. And then block it'll block more shots, and it helps out quite a lot in defence. And then what's the other one? And intercept and anticipate. Again, great. And it was a bit too overpowered at the first, like, couple of months. Then they patched it, and then it became more balanced. I don't mind slide tackle, and I don't mind jockey. I just think slide tackle's a tiny bit behind them two, and then jockey, I just think I don't see the point of it. I understand they can jockey and move quicker players. I just don't see it in effect, really. But that defense play style's a bit weird anyway. Then you've got the passing whipped. It was OP, and at the same time, I've somehow gotten rubbish at it, even though I was quite good at it. Incisive, I love incisive. Like, that is probably my favourite playstyle. It can just be, but at the same time, it's like, it's weird. It's like they'll be incisive 1 second and just overhit it the next. Tiki-taka's nice, but I haven't used it enough to know what it is. To really understand, like, I understand you can make quick 1-2 passes quicker, but that's not really FC 24. Even though it is broken, it's not really, I can't do it to the level I want to do it at, just because I can't get on with gameplay. Then, what is that? Pinged is great. You fire it into their feet, and they won't miscontrol it. And then, what's the other one? Long ball. Long ball is lovely as well. Like, it will just be bang, straight out there, and they won't really miscontrol it. So again, passing play styles I think were reasonably started off reasonably well, and they have got better and worse. And the shooting ones, finesse, power shot, and I think they have a finesse and power shot are decent. Power header, not used it enough to know whether it's good or not. Dead ball, yes, I understand, but I don't like the free kick system, so I'm not going to get on with it. And then, what's the 5th one? Chip. Useless. EA need to change the chip system for it to work, I think. But the chips haven't been good since 22 or 21, I think. Anyway, then you've got physical ones, which is Trivela, I've mentioned. Quick step. I thought that was the best one early on in the game. But now as I've got later stage, rapid is much better for me. Just because they will keep at the same pace. And honestly, I think I didn't understand how to use it with Player Month and Mbappe, even though I was using him for months, until I got that Path to Glory Xavi Simons and understood, oh, that's what Rapid does. I didn't understand what it did. And I read it, and I still didn't understand it. And then with Javi Sims, it was like, oh, that's what it does. That's quite good. Quick step, accelerate quicker. I haven't really, when I've used players, haven't really noticed it. But then that could be because of how late in the game cycle we are. And basically everybody has max acceleration at some point. With chemistry styles or whatever. Then you've got Relentless. That's great for a midfielder. Like, they won't run out of stamina or fullback. Trivela touched on. And then Magnet. That is... I think that could have used a bit of a rework. It's like... only works with driven passes. Which, to me, it shouldn't. It should work on every pass and stuff. Because, really, your first touch doesn't change from a ball coming in at 50 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. It doesn't really change. So if you can control the ball pinged easily, you should be able to control the light pass easier. That's my theories anyway. Then goalkeepers obviously don't have one, which is the most bizarre thing, but I understand it. They wanted to make sure this year's playstyles worked, and now FC 25 we're going to get playstyles. And that's pretty much it. Then Evos, great, but possibly could have been priced a little bit differently. Like, not 500k for an Evo or 125k. Maybe just 50k to 100k. But at the same time, they're a great way to boost up the lower, like, not great cards into decent cards at the start of the game and throughout the year. And obviously we didn't get goalkeeper Evos, which is a big thing. I think a lot of people moan about, so I'm not really going to go into detail in that. And then we haven't had enough, like, high-rated ones in a weird sense. Like 86s that work for City players or whatever. Or, like, we didn't get enough 82 to boost them up to an 86 or something until Centurion's radioactive time. So about November, maybe Black Friday time. Which, for me... And then you couldn't upgrade them till, like, for birthday or whenever. So there needs to be, for me, to be more, like, not quicker, like, you can put an 82 to an 85, and then you can sort of put them into another. But obviously EA have changed Evos. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I haven't really watched, I've not watched any of the breakdowns and stuff like that. So I'm going into FC 25 blind. But yeah, I'll mention more of that in the video. And then the final good thing about the game, amount of players we can use. Like last year, really, apart from Haaland, maybe a few others, we weren't really using those tall players. But when they've added Playstyle Pluses, who have like players like Haaland, who've got acrobatic, that's one of the ones that I sort of don't get, but I haven't really used players with it, so I understand. Why? So, with, like, we can use so many different type of players. And Playstyle Pluses, I think, have made that happen. Like, Haaland with aerial, bang. He will jump, like, 3 feet higher than what he possibly would, or, like, 2 feet higher than what he possibly would without it. And versus, like, a normal player who doesn't, it's great. But you can almost have too many players. And only a select few are actually properly, decently meta. Like Haaland. But although this year we could use, say, a Soroth, wouldn't be great, or wouldn't be 100% meta, but they'd be like 70% meta and still very, very usable. So like so we had so many different players we could use this year, and it sort of made teams not all the same until you get into the latter stages of the game when pretty much each card's you might want to use meta to have the best chance at winning or whatever. You know what I mean. But anyway. So yeah, really quite a lot of good players. And that's that, I think, really. So moving on to our conclusion. Overall, the game wasn't bad, but wasn't great. Would I say it was worth £100? No. Am I buying FC 25? Yes. Now, so the reason why I'm still buying FC 25 is I've not, like, there's no other really FC game, FIFA game, football-y game out there that that I have been able to enjoy more than FC24, and it's the only game that has keeps me hooked. Like, I've tried playing other games, and it just hasn't worked out for me. So, that being said, it wasn't a great game, but it wasn't a bad game either. It's like you could miss a week and you'd still be able to catch up, which is a bit like, yes, I understand that, but ultimately, it was. I sort of see why this game struggled a lot with, like, because it was such a big change to formate, like, or chemistry. That was last year, but like play styles and animations and stuff. I can see why the keepers and certain of the EA struggled, but at the same time, there are certain things I just don't think EA should have been struggling with, that they struggled to do, like patches and get things right, and just ultimately pricing of like packs. I understand they want to make as much money as possible, but really, is it just? I mean, it's not worth buying FIFA points to begin with unless it's your job. But anyway, so that is my conclusion. Weren't bad, but it weren't great either. It weren't great, but it weren't bad either. No, I don't know. Basically, I'm trying. It's not bad, but it's in the middle of good and bad. It's like a meh. It was, some bits were good, some bits are bad, but ultimately, it's a game and we're only human, right? But anyway, so for the final bit of this video, I'm just going to explain my plan for FC25 and the final video of FC24, which will be a club tour just to show you what I've got on up to over the past 3 months, which I haven't been uploading for, which has been nice. Like, I mean, I think what happened was the fact that my FC24 Ultimate Team Series started off horribly with the amount of views it was getting and whatever. It just didn't start off great, and then that sort of just like, yeah, it's not doing well, but I'll still post. But that's down to me as much as possible. It is fully down to me. Like, but at the same time, I'm like, what do I do? Then, so hopefully FC25 will start off better than FC24 did. But moving on to my plans for FC25, hopefully weekly videos, if not twice a week, depending on what I'm like. What I really need to do is get in a schedule. Now, I think that's what let me down this year, as well as going like FC24 or FIFA 23 immediately into 24. That was stupid from my part. Most years I would normally take a week break and then I'm like, yes, back into it. Like, I'll play F1 or just other games and not play FIFA or FC. Last year, I was like, I played Weekend League up until the final Weekend League. Like, what am I doing? Like, am I good? Probably not. So, and I just think that may have been why this year was a bit more worse for me. I don't think I started off great with my first video. It was so chaotic and really just not great, was it? Like, I know exactly why, because I streamed and I had no plan. So that is my fault, but still. Anyway, I'll leave that here. I think you understood. Hopefully, if you didn't, I'll answer your questions in the comments as best I can. And ultimately, I hope you stick around to FC25, and I will see you in the next video.